Welcome, love. This is Sex, Drugs, and Sound Bowls, and I'm Jessie Siren, here to stir the cauldron with raw psycho-spiritual talks on healing, plant medicine, sex, motherhood, and the sacred chaos that cracks us open and lights the way forward. Expect deep truth and raw feels that leave you inspired, held in your humanness, and ready to take your rightful place as the creator of your own experience. With a deep breath and an open heart, let's be all the way here now. Hello and welcome back to Sex, Drugs, and Sound Bowls. I'm Jessie Siren, as always reporting live, mid-process, mid-chrysalis, mid-mush. And today, oh my God, so many feels. I hope, God, I almost don't want to speak to it because I'm like, I'll be able to be more eloquent with it when it crystallizes, when I know better. But I just know. I was talking to a friend today and it was, God, our energy, we were feeling, we were vibing, we were flowing. I just know this is useful for somebody else out there. So I'm saying it now before it's crystallized, before it's perfection, because perfection is the great killer of well enough, of good enough. Somebody said that. So this all begins on the eve of a luteal week in my cycle. And I can feel myself getting a little unhinged, a little bit nitpicky. Once a month, all of the things that I don't even notice in my day-to-day, right? The socks on the floor, the dishes, the way he chews, the way he sleeps, the way he doesn't sleep, how much he's on his phone, all these little details I don't even notice, all of a sudden blow up in my face when I'm luteal. And I'm just like, how have we even made it this long? Like, how are we even together? We're not even compatible. I don't even like the way you smell. Like, how all of a sudden all the things I love become the things that I hate. And this, sometimes I'm able to keep it in check and notice, like, okay, you're luteal. These are big feelings. They're real feelings, but this is not the time to share them, right? But this week I did. And I just like, I felt like it was like this shame cycle. I kept like saying the thing. My tongue was like a viper that was like out of control. I just kept saying it and then feeling guilty and bad and shame that I said the thing. And then it would like build up inside of me and I'd say something else. And he just like, okay. But I could see I was kind of like beating him down. And we got to a moment where it's so easy for me when I'm in that luteal phase to feel self-righteous, because I'm someone that when hard shit happens, I rise with equal amounts of intensity. Okay, so something scary, impossibly difficult to like insurmountable should happen. Well, I'm going to be even scarier, even bigger, even more insurmountable. And I will do all the research and I will find all the resources and I will do the thing. I can make a hard decision like that. Okay. And Matt is somebody who, when things get difficult, he pulls in, he gets a little smaller, he gets a little quieter. And it's really easy for me when I'm not in the right balanced mind state to judge that and to criticize that and to make that bad and wrong. Go back to the last podcast episode where I'm reiterating that just because you feel passionate about something, just because you are even living the embodiment of the value you are preaching, it does not mean it's universally right for everybody, right? Because not everybody can be a fucking volcano. If the whole world was volcanoes, like, we would burn the shit down, right? So here I am, the volcano. Here Matt is the dead fish in the water. And I'm judging that stinky water. I'm just like, I don't want to go near that, and you're useless, and you're not helping me out here. But he's over here, right? This is hindsight 360. He's over here just like, you're burning shit down. I can't get closer. I can't get closer. So at the end of this luteal week, this is just like yesterday, I made a solemn promise to Matt, and I'm going to share it here because it might be useful for somebody else. If you find yourself once a month, you don't even have to track your cycle to know. You will know when you're in the feels, right? Because all of a sudden, the way he chews, the way he breathes, whatever he's doing, the way he smells, it's not right. And okay, I don't know, I haven't like fact checked this, but I did read something that said biologically, physiologically, what's happening is that because it's tied to our survival instinct, because this man has not impregnated you, and you are now luteal, which means you are not impregnated, your body is literally like releasing hormones to make you feel repulsed by him because he has not done his job. It is turning you away from him and getting you ready to find the next viable man, virile man. And that kind of makes sense. It's kind of like, that's kind of how I feel. So I made a solemn promise that from now on, during that luteal week, I'm not going to go to him with all of the things in my head. I'm not going to let this viper tongue out of its basket. Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to keep it in check, and I'm going to journal and write down all those things because they are useful information. Not everything, right? He barely ever leaves his socks on the floor. I don't need to ream him about how hard I work and why could he leave his socks on the floor. I don't need to say that thing. It's not like a pattern that's repeating. It's not a problem in our life, right? So if I'm writing things down, then I'm able to, if you're not writing it down or speaking it, you're carrying it. If I'm writing it down, I'm not carrying it anymore. But I also don't have to put it on him, right? This is like something a theme I keep coming back to in my life. It's a system that is really working for me. If somebody does something that I don't like, a friend, a family member, a spouse, a child, I don't even want to speak to it. If it's happened once, even twice, I'm not going to speak to it. But the second that it becomes a pattern that's repeating, that I feel is causing harm, I might have something to say about it, right? I might set up boundaries. Boundaries are something that you say you're going to do, not something you're asking somebody else to do. But the second it becomes a visible pattern that is causing disruption, disharmony, rubbing me the wrong way, I'm going to speak to it. So writing these things down in my journal, in my mind, is going to help me to notice what things are just like one-offs and I don't need to say anything about that, and what things are actual patterns. And then once I can see the patterns, once I can see the things that are actually, because there are things in the mix, without going into too many, personal details here. I don't want to throw them out under the bus, but let's say, let me just make something up. Like if he never washed the dishes, and he never washed the dishes, and usually in my day-to-day I'm just I'm in the habit of doing it. It's fine, I'm doing the dishes all the time, but during my luteal phase I'm noticing I'm extra taxed, I'm extra sensitive, and I'm noticing it's just too much, just one more thing. I can't handle it. I can't handle it. And I write it down on my list, and I go through my life, and I refer back to that list, and I notice, I'm upset about the dishes, and the reason is because I feel like I'm carrying too much right now. So then I can have a logical, right, not too flowery, not blamey conversation where I'm carrying too much. Can we divide and conquer? Can we find a way to bring more fluidity to our relationship? And then I'm not throwing out words like you never and I always and I'm doing too much and you don't do enough and you don't care. I'm not throwing out all that stuff that wants to come out like a viper out of my mouth on my luteal cycle. Instead, I'm waiting, I'm holding, I'm looking at the feeling and looking at what's underneath it. And then I'm able to, like a self-aware, self-responsible, mature partner in relationship, bring it to him in a way that's useful and not just beating him down with a stick, because I don't want to fucking do that. I don't want to harm him. I want to love him. I want to build us. I want to grow us. And I can't do that with a tongue like a snake. So there's that part. And then I'm on the phone with a dear friend. And oh my God, did life hold up the freaking mirror for me, because I'm listening to her and our energies are very similar. We're spicy, we're fiery, we are passionate women, we are rising to the occasion, right? We're meeting the moment with equal amount of energy. Whatever the moment is asking, we are gonna one up and we're gonna do better. And she's sharing how she's struggling in relationship because her partner won't fucking pick up any slack. He won't pick it up, and she's carrying everything, and she's doing everything, and she's making all the choices, and she's XYZ, blah, blah, blah. I'm doing all these things, and he is just not picking up anything. And it reminded me, I had a conversation today with my beautiful friend, Steven, and I was relaying, I feel so bad, I was such a bitch to Matt, but I problem solved, and I'm going to write it down in my journal from now on. And he was just reflecting back to me, you want Matt to make more decisions and to pick up more of the mental load. But for the past decade, he hasn't been doing that. You've been making all the big choices. You've been carrying the mental load, and it's been working, right? You, one way or another, you do make those big decisions, and he's avoided conflict, and he's avoided upsetting you by not picking up that slack. So, but he was saying that, and I was like, oh my God, I am the problem. I am the problem. Yeah, he's maintaining the pattern because the pattern has been working, right? And so listening to my friend now, and she's sharing, right? She's mirroring the same pattern, right? She's like, I'm carrying everything and I'm holding it, and he's taking 2 steps back, big things happen, and I'm rising and he's falling back. And this is where I got that metaphor. I was like, you're a fucking volcano. And he's a stinky dead fish in the waters of life, right? And you don't want to go over there. You want stinky fish, get out of here. But he's like, well, you're a fucking volcano. I don't want to come over there and grab it. And you're like, do something with that stinky dead fish. pick up some slack, come over here and grab this. And you're like, because it's too scary, I can't let go, I'm too scared to let go until you grab it. And he's over here like the stinky dead fish. He's like, I can't move. I'm too scared of all your fire. I'm not going to move until you put out your fire. You let go and then I'll come over. And, so like these two polarities. And it's so easy to judge from the volcano, right? We're just over here just like fucking pull yourselves up by your bootstraps. Do something. Make a decision. Be proactive. Fix it. And over here, from the victim mindset, from the dead fish, you're just like, chill the fuck out. You're scary. You're mean. You're mad. You're bad. And both of those polarities are on the same playing field, right? They are kind of canceling each other out. And each of them is waiting for the other one to do the impossible, right? To stop being the dead fish, to stop being the volcano. And the second, I was listening to my friend and I realized the second that we stop fucking waiting for something outside of ourselves to change our circumstance, is the second we reclaim our power, is the second that we break out of that paradigm, that pattern that's playing itself out, because it can't play itself out anymore. If you're not the fucking volcano, if you're not the bully, this person can't be the victim anymore, right? If you're not the stinky dead fish flopping around in the waters of life, this person has no one to bully anymore. And so listening to her, talking to her, sharing with her, feeling, just like the dance of life, just mirroring back and forth to each other. I was like, I knew what I needed to do. I knew what I needed to do to get off his fucking back. Like, keep that list to myself for now, right? And just refocus on myself. Why am I feeling so frustrated? Why am I feeling so burned out? And again, remembering that if I'm feeling that way, it's because I haven't had my thorns, my sacred boundaries turned on. And remembering that sacred boundaries are things that I will do, not things I expect other people to do, not things I'm telling other people to do. And so what, right now, in the dance of my life, what am I wanting more of? I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling worn out. I feel like I have those, what do you call these, varicosities in my leg, and they start to kind of like pulse and throb a little bit when I've been on my feet too much, like reminding me, like, sit down, put your feet up. I want to sit down and put my feet up. I want to laugh and play, and I want to like meander. I want days of meandering where there's just like lounging and giggling. My sister being in town really brought that energy back to me. It was like just like existing like a flower, like a beautiful flower in the field, just laughing and letting the wind tickle my hair and being in the ritual like of beautifying, of adorning, of enjoying food and music and togetherness. So those are things, because this friend that I was talking to as well, she was like, he's doing XYZ, and a couple months ago, I would have laughed about that. And now I'm just like, fucking figure it out. And we came to like, it literally is a matter of capacity right now. Like, kids are out of school, they're home. And so where there was more spaciousness and open time to tend the self, for a lot of us now there's not, because our kids are around us all day long. And so our capacity, right, is equal. It's like equally measured to the amount of self-care we're giving ourselves. And so if we are so nourished, so fucking well tended that it's filling the glass all the way up to the top and spilling out the top, that's filling the glass all the way up and spilling out the top, then that sweetness, right, spills out onto everyone and everything around us. But if it starts to wane, if it starts to drop, right, halfway, a little bit lower, and then someone comes to us and they need a drink because they're having a hard time, and I'm sad and I'm a dead fish in the water of life, there's nothing for you here. Right? This is the whole thing. This is what I say at the end of every episode, and I say it because I need to remember. Love yourself. Loving yourself is loving the world. Filling your cup all the way up till it's spilling and bubbling out the top on everything and everyone around you is changing the world. But I forget that. And all of a sudden I'm waiting for my kids to, do their chores because I'm doing too much. Can they pick up some slack? And I'm waiting for my husband to, tell me to sit down and take a break. And that is my inner child. And I need to remind her, honey, we have better strategies. We have better tools now. We don't wait, we incentivize. Actually, maybe I'll share it. I found a little video. I was talking to Indio about what it is to be a leader. And leaders can't force. Good leaders don't force through fear or control, through fear, they incentivize, they negotiate, they get people excited to be around them and to be a part. So that's me. That's my job as the mama, as the wifey. Like, how can I incentivize my people to help out, to be a part? And so for me, that's getting back to if this, then this. So, or when your chores are done, then breakfast is on the table for you, right? When your hair is brushed and your teeth are brushed, then there is breakfast for you, right? So every morning the kids have to do their chore, their teeth, their hair, and then there's breakfast, right? So if I stick within the parameters of the boundaries that I have the power to uphold, my kids every day have their hair brushed, their teeth brushed, and their chore done before 9 a.m. That's amazing. That's amazing. But if I stop, if I let my fences down, my boundaries down, and I expect them to, I'm like, you have to brush your teeth, you have to XYZ. I mean, that just always bites me in the ass. I'll be waiting forever, right? If I am waiting for Matt to tell me to go get a massage or to put my feet up, I'm getting like bitter. I'm building some resentment, and I might be waiting forever. But if I fucking just, if I just tell him, I'm going to take a night to go get a massage or to put my feet up, or on the other side of that, I have more capacity to love. I'm gentler and kinder, and I'm somebody he wants to be in relationship with. I'm somebody he wants to please, you know? But when I'm bitter and resentful and unpleasable, then that's when he withdraws. That's when the phone comes out. That's when, that's when shit starts to fall apart. So moral of the story is, like, everybody wants somebody else to do the hard thing, right? Stop being the volcano, and then I'll stop being the dead fish. Stop being the dead fish, and then I'll stop being the volcano. But wherever you are, wherever you land on the spectrum, let's take a moment to honor that the only thing we have power over is our own behavior. No. Let's reclaim. Let's take that power back. Like, come on with me. Let's imagine all the ways that you are leaking, you are hemorrhaging energy, that you haven't had sovereign boundaries. Imagine like this beautiful, radiant, golden, life-giving, luminescent energy. It's flowing back to you as you inhale. Brace your core. Pull everything up and in, building tension and pressure while you're inhaling, and imagine it flowing in through the crown of your head, in through your nostrils, in through the pores of your skin, and filling you back up like a cup from your tippy toes all the way to the top of your head. You're pulling that power back in. As within, so without. Remember, your story, your healing, they matter more than you know. And every act of self-love, no matter how small, carries, echoes, ripples, a vibration, a frequency of authentic love. And this authentic love, filling yourself up to the tippy top and letting it bubble on over and spill out on everything and everyone around you. It cannot help but change everything and everyone it bumps into. Love yourself, change the world. Let's love ourselves and change the world. Yes.
This podcast is here to share stories and spark curiosity, not to replace professional advice. Before diving into any psychedelics or practices we talk about here, check in with your own deep knowing, your healthcare provider, and know your local laws. Anchor in your own truth before reaching out for anything or anyone. That is the real power. And one more thing, I make this show just for you. If you're loving it, drop me a comment or review on Spotify, iTunes, or YouTube. Let me know I should keep showing up. Grateful to be here with you.